In the hush of the royal palace, beneath the glistening chandeliers and intricate tapestries that tell centuries-old stories, a battle of silence and subtlety has been waging. A battle so quiet, so hidden beneath the royal facade, that its full implications have only just begun to unfold. But it is one that has left Prince William, the Duke of Cambridge, both furious and deeply hurt. It involves an icon, a photograph, and a deliberate attempt to rewrite history. And now, the battle to reclaim Diana's rightful place in royal memory has begun. The moment that shook the royal family and set this drama in motion occurred in the quiet, stately rooms of Buckingham Palace. According to a reliable palace insider, Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, in a move that seemed more calculated than coincidental, decided to remove Princess Diana's wedding portrait from the walls of a royal residence. But this was no ordinary photograph. This was the iconic wedding portrait of Diana and Prince Charles, a photograph that had symbolized the fairy-tale union, the beginning of a new era in the monarchy. And yet, as whispers began to circulate, it became clear that Camilla had orchestrated its removal, quietly, almost clandestinely, from the place that had once been its home. This seemingly small act was far more significant than anyone could have imagined. The wedding photograph was not just a picture hanging on a wall, it was a cultural symbol, an emblem of a moment in history that had transcended the confines of the royal family and entered the hearts of millions around the world. Diana, who had been adored as the people's princess, represented something far greater than her role as the wife of Prince Charles. She had become the embodiment of grace, compassion, and devotion, capturing the essence of what it meant to be both a royal and a modern woman in a changing world. Diana was not just a monarch's consort, she was an icon. And now, it seemed, someone in the palace was determined to erase her from the royal narrative altogether. As the story of the missing photograph began to spread, it became clear that Prince William, Diana's eldest son, was not going to let this go unnoticed. The news hit him like a bolt of lightning, a stark reminder of the pain and betrayal he had felt over the years. For William, Diana's memory was sacred. She was his mother, a woman who had sacrificed so much for her family and, ultimately, for the people who had loved her. Her image was more than just a photograph to him, it was a testament to her lasting legacy. The idea that anyone would seek to remove her from the royal family's visual history was not only upsetting, it was an affront to everything Diana had stood for. According to insiders close to Prince William, this wasn't just a matter of personal sentiment. It was a matter of royal history. For years, there had been a growing undercurrent of tension within the royal family regarding Diana's legacy. There were whispers of how the monarchy had tried to distance itself from her memory, from the charity work she had pioneered to the public image she had carefully crafted. Diana's presence in royal spaces had become increasingly rare, with her portraits relegated to back rooms or removed entirely from public view. This latest incident, the removal of her wedding photo, felt like the final straw. But the mystery went even deeper. According to a well-placed source, Camilla's decision to remove the portrait was part of a broader and more insidious agenda. It was not a singular act, it was part of a systematic effort to reshape the royal narrative and downplay Diana's influence on the monarchy. For years, Camilla had been quietly exerting her influence over the royal household, gradually erasing traces of Diana's presence from royal life. The removal of the wedding photograph was the most overt symbol of this subtle campaign, but it was far from the only example. The tension between Prince William and Camilla, although never openly discussed, had been growing for some time. Their relationship had always been complex. While William had made efforts to maintain a civil relationship with his stepmother, there were deeper issues that remained unresolved. Camilla, who had been the other woman in Charles and Diana's marriage, had never truly gained the affection or admiration of the public. In the eyes of many, she would forever be seen as the woman who had caused the downfall of a marriage that had once captivated the world. And in William's eyes, Camilla's role in the family could never overshadow the legacy of his mother. As the days passed after the photo was removed, William's anger began to fester. But it wasn't just anger, it was a profound sense of loss. The photograph was not merely a family keepsake, it was an integral part of the royal story. It symbolized Diana's place in the monarchy, and by removing it, William felt that a part of his mother's memory was being erased from history. In the days that followed, Sources close to Prince William revealed that he had begun a quiet campaign to reclaim his mother's legacy. The stakes were high. This was not just about one photograph, this was about something much bigger. It was about ensuring that the story of Princess Diana, her compassion, her revolutionary approach to royal duties, and her enduring popularity, would not be swept under the rug of royal politics. Prince William began to meet with key advisors, historians, and curators within the royal household. His goal was simple: to restore Diana's rightful place in royal history. He sought to create a new exhibition dedicated to his mother's legacy not as a consort, but as a royal icon in her own right. It would highlight her charity work, her groundbreaking influence on the monarchy, and the way she had connected with the public on a deeply personal level. In an era where the monarchy was struggling to modernize and remain relevant, Diana had been the figurehead who had bridged the old and the new, making the royal family more relatable to the people than ever before. But this wasn't just about making a public statement. It was about preserving Diana's place in history, not just for the people, but for his children, and for future generations who needed to understand the profound impact she had on the royal family and the world. As William began to take action, the whispers from within the palace grew louder. There were reports that other members of the royal family, those who had long been supportive of Diana, were now rallying behind William's cause. The removal of the wedding portrait had struck a nerve with many, and as the truth about the ongoing campaign to diminish Diana's memory began to surface, public support for the prince grew stronger. The media, ever hungry for a royal story, began to pick up on the details, and soon, the story was everywhere. What had started as a quiet family issue had now become a national conversation. In a dramatic turn, some of Diana's most loyal friends and former colleagues joined forces with William. They began organizing public campaigns to honor her legacy, including calls for the restoration of Diana's image in royal residences and an acknowledgement of her profound influence on the monarchy. There was even talk of creating a permanent memorial to Diana, one that would ensure her memory was forever etched into the fabric of the royal family. But not everyone within the palace was on William's side. There were those who, for political reasons, preferred to keep the narrative of Diana's life within the confines of the past. They feared that elevating her legacy too much would overshadow the current generation of royals, particularly Charles and Camilla. These royal insiders were determined to keep the focus on the future of the monarchy, rather than on the ghosts of its past. As the royal drama unfolded, one thing became abundantly clear: the battle for Diana's legacy was far from over. Prince William had embarked on a fight that was not just about one photograph, or even about one woman's memory. It was about ensuring that the monarchy would be held accountable to its history, its truths, and its people. Diana had changed the royal family forever, and no matter how hard others tried to erase her, William was prepared to fight for her memory with everything he had. The royal palace may try to remove her photograph from its walls, but Prince William is determined to ensure that the memory of Princess Diana lives on. The fight for her legacy is far from over, and this time, the truth will not be silenced.